from that. We already have, and I liked what we saw in practice today, and so just really looking forward to try to transfer what we do in practice onto the game field on Friday night.
Do you envision any significant changes in personnel after the bye week and after evaluating, or?
I think that's hard to answer with significant. You know, it all depends on health, and then depends on what we're doing as a team. So if our injured guys that were injured are improving, and I don't know what else to say about that. Is that where you're going at? I'm trying to read between the lines.
Yeah, I mean, we looked at the new depth chart, and it doesn't look like anything major, but there's some oars in there. And
Yeah, and you'll see different bodies in different places, but not too extravagant. It's a lot what we've been doing, but there's also there's some different looks, and so don't want to give everything away, but it'll be, the base is there, and we'll just try to find ways to score points and take advantage of what we see as a strength for us going against Utah State.
I know you don't talk about injuries, but the secret's out with Tanner. We all saw him on the field before Wisconsin game.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a timeline for him to return?
Well, he's not on a scooter anymore, so that's a positive. So so he's improving, but I don't. It's still too early to make a definitive decision on this weekend.
Do you like this rivalry with Utah State?
I do. I mean, there's a lot of connections between our program and Utah State, and I know personally know a lot of the coaches on that staff too. So, and our coaches have great relationships with a lot of those guys. So, I think it's good, and it's an in-state rival game, and just really looking forward to it. I know we play this game on Fridays before general conference, stuff like that. So, it's a lot of fun. A lot of attention will be focused on this game, and just looking forward to showing our best game against Utah State. And they've done a great job this last weekend. So, it's going to be tough going into Logan, but we're looking forward to the challenge.
Last couple of questions.
When you brought Elisa with you from Oregon State, what were the characteristics about him and his ability in coaching that made you want to add him to your staff?
Well, I've known him since we were kids, and so that connection was there. But I also coached him at Southern Utah. I was his running backs coach, and I was there with him, and then he was my graduate assistant at Utah. And so before he went to Utah State, he was with me the entire time at Utah and worked with me. And so we were connected there. And then he went to Utah State and did a great job there with Gary, and Matt Wells was on staff. And he did a great job with the running backs. The 3 running backs that he coached got drafted and went to the NFL. And so, and I got to see him kind of grow up as a coach. And when he came back to Utah with me, the connection was still there. And so, we went to Oregon State together, and now we're here. So it kind of makes sense if you look at our timeline of how much we connect, and also the personal thing. Our families are connected, and we're great friends. And so it just makes sense that he'll do what he's doing. I think he's been doing a great job as defensive coordinator, and having that experience on the offensive side helps out too, because he's an offensive-minded guy, and is coaching defense, and kind of like how I was, growing up in my career too. So it kind of works out.
Kalani, you've said over the last 3 weeks that you haven't seen the team that you thought you could see. The potential hasn't come close. How important is it for this week for there at least to be a sizable step forward in that direction to seeing the team that you believe you have?
Yeah, it's important every week, but I've seen it in practice. I've seen it in fall camp, and I've seen glimpses of it in games. Just need to be more consistent, and then we're probably speaking more offensively than anything else. Defensively, we've done some good things, and it's not been perfect, but when you have one phase that doesn't do as well, and not even do well when it's doing horrible, it affects the other 2 phases, and that's the goal, is to make sure that they play like they practice, because there's a lot of great talent there, and a lot of great coaches, and the scheme is good. We just need to execute it a little bit better, and just basically do what we've been doing in practice. We've had some success against our defense in practices, and just need to make sure that we do that against the other teams when we play. And that's a big part of the frustration, is that transferring over from practice to the games has not happened consistently, and we'll look forward to doing that on Friday.
Last question.
Do you have any particular memories as a player concerning this Utah State rivalry? You can get back that far.
Yeah, I think that just so you always know guys on the other side, and the connection that you have with playing against Utah State, and it's a tough place to play. They get really excited when you go up there. So, but I always enjoyed that game too. So, I think our players are looking forward to going up there and you know, just find a way to get back on track of what we know we can do. And it's another opportunity, another game. But we also know that how close it is, and we know we'll have some support there too. So it's a little bit different. It's a local game for us. It's not as much travel, and so not having to get on a plane makes it a lot easier for us.